the scene. We are in week 4 at the moment on our test plan. We've got a test next week on Friday. But this stuff is all, it can be adjusted, but it just means everything else gets pushed. So you don't have to copy everything that's on this page. I will save it for you. However, we've got simultaneous equations. And what that means is we're going to have 2 lines. We want to find out if they intersect. We want to find out what is this unique point. It will be a certain x value. It will be a certain y value. We want to find out what that is. We want to do it without guessing. We could do it. We could find this point by graphing, but it's not a question of just finding x and y intercepts and sketching it. We would have to actually graph it to scale. Pain in the butt. So we'll go, yeah, sure, we can do this if we have to, and I'll show you how to do that in the double lesson. But today we want to focus on this method called by substitution. And I hope you will embrace it and you'll love it just as much as I do. Seriously, it's nice. Substitution. Tomorrow, Friday, we will look at the other one called elimination. And it's just about how the question is given to you as to which one you use. The textbook is going to say, please do it by substitution. Then they will say, please do it by elimination. It will get to the point, Tom, where it's just solve it. And you choose whichever method you want. All right? So, all I needed you to do was have, you with the 2 lines, they might never meet because they are parallel. We would know that from looking at the equations because they would have the same slope. What you might not realise is there's a third situation, and that is when one line is on top of the other. And that's what we call coincident, and we have infinitely many solutions. People are madly copying, so I'll just pause for a minute. Or underline it or whatever, but have a nice, we're looking at substitution. It's the substitution method. And let's have a look at this first example. All of you, too. What does substitution mean? When you sub it out, but what happens?
And you bring someone in.
And you bring someone in. Switch it, replace. Yes? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. So here, I could find infinitely many solutions for this one. So when x is 1, what would y be? 6. When x is 2, 2 plus 5, 7. He said y. When x is 3 and so on. What I'm wanting though, is that I not only want a solution for this, but would it also work for this one? So we just said, okay, we could guess x is 1, that means y is 6 for this. Do we agree? If I replace those values in here, I get 3 times 1 is 3, take y is 6. It does not work for that one, does it? So what I'm after is a set of points that will work for both. And guessing, well, some of you could be really good, but no good. So we are going to do what we said, substitute, replace. It's nice. Y equals x plus 5. So guess what we're going to do in the second equation? Yes, replace it. Instead of y, we're going to replace it with x plus 5. Because that's what they're telling us y is. So this is what we go. We go 3x. It says take, but I'm not going to take just y. What is y? And let's use brackets. X plus 5. What? Come back to this. What do I have to do next? Equals 1. Now that looks a little bit uglier than each of these separate lines. However, how many unknowns have I got?
1.
What? Careful. Finger. Correct. There's only one unknown, so we can now solve this. 3x, take x, take 5, equals 1. Continue. What is 3x take x? 2. X. Get rid of my take 5. Plus 5. That doesn't write to me. And therefore, correct, x equals 3. You're not done. Oh, you're not right. I know, I've got so many things going on. X equals 3. Now, we're not done because remember, what did we want? We wanted to find out where they meet And that was a coordinate. So what am I missing?
Y.
The y. Oh, how am I meant to find the y? If only there was something that said, oh, y equals. There is one. Just sub it. It's all about the sub. So we sub it in here. So we get y equals 3 plus 5 is 8. Now, Finn just likes to be difficult. And he said, I don't want to sub it into the first one. Flynn, I don't want to sub it into the first one. I want to sub it into the second one. So he goes, 3 times 3 is 9. Take y equals 1. Solve that. Doesn't y have to be 8? Huzzah. So you can sub it into either one. Obviously, do the easiest one, Flynn. But you could check that you are right by subbing into both, and you should get the same answer. If you don't, roll. You might have done something silly like I did before and put 6 because I got so carried away I forgot to do the division. That much excitement. All right, we ready to do one? All right. Why is this not? The grid's on. So here we go. This is exercise 16B. And we're going simultaneously. So once again, it's in this nice form, y equals x take 3. You look at it. You go, all right, I'm going to sub this in to that one below. And if you keep everything nice and neat and put it underneath, you cannot go wrong. So it's got the 2x. It's got the plus. We're going to go 3, but we stop because instead of 3 times y, what is y? X take 3. And then we come back. What does it say to do? Equals 26. Now, simplify, gather like terms, solve. We can do that, can't we? I'll pause. You do. I'll be right behind you. So we're just rocking the algebra. You know, you're doing it. It's last lesson on a Wednesday. Do make sure you've done 3 times 3 is 9, not 6. As I said, I've already made a mistake on the board thus far. It's easy to do. So we should end up x equals 5. And before we leap into the next question, we do make sure that we also find our y value. Okay, so pop it back in here. 7 take 3. So therefore y is... Now, because we're looking at graphs here, and we're writing as a coordinate, you will end up doing worded problems. And you know, it might be, we bought 2 pencils that cost da da da, and 3 pens that were, and our total was la 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 la. So it ends up getting to a, I'd say realistic, but that's not really. But anyway, we get there. So, are we happy? What? All right, now, how can this whole system change? Hardly. But I don't know why. Sometimes D flummoxes students. So what would be my first line for D? Yes, same thing. Like y equals this, y also equals this, so they just equal each other. Or you're saying you're replacing that with that y there. But it's the same, they just equal. So it's 2x, take 12, equals 13 minus 3x. What's the hard algebra here? I don't know. What do you have to do? Get all your x's on one side, non-x's on the other. Solve as per usual. So that's right. 5x equals 25. And you've got the gist. Now, I'm not going to solve that because I think you can. And my time is pretty much up. I just wanted to point out the last one. Ooh, they had a whole new section for it. Question 2. Ooh, what's going on? Yes, instead of y equals, whoopsies, they've made it. Oh my God, x equals, same thing. Instead of replacing y with that, you're going to replace it with, you replace x. We're not going to be annoyed or, yes, fixed by that, are we? Can do? All right, so that still gives people, by my calculations, 40 minutes. If you have finished your worksheet, then can I ask you to go through 16b. Okay, you'll find it's like routine, but it has to end up being routine. Question 3, whoa, fractions in there. Well, you've got calculators with fraction buttons. Okay, probably in Friday's lesson, I'm going to run like fun after I've shown you the elimination method. Then I'm going to show you how your calculator can actually do it, like that. And then I'm going to run for the hills, because you go, why didn't you teach us this before? Because you might have to do it with algebra. Okay, sometimes like I can do it quicker algebraically than I can when I type it into the calculator. So please, you're doing that. If you are choosing to work on your worksheet this lesson, then can you give me this for homework? Agreed? 1 to 3, I mean, even if 4, you could go on. That's, I mean, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but some of those are going to be parallel or coincident.
Can we do every second or every single?
Okay, every second for question 1, 2, and 3, depending how you feel. If you go, no, I want to do more, but don't just do 1.
Yeah.
Okay.